Yep, yeah. So we telling the truth and nothing but the truth today.
The truth and nothing but the truth. And it's rough, but it's gonna set you free.
Oh dang. Everybody.
Are we live yet? That's what we were talking about when we said the box of bagels. I was like, oh, I don't eat bagels. It was a horrible, horrible connection to bagels. My best friend said, no, baby, that was the
Okay,
bagel.
we are live now.
I know that was the baby, not the bagels.
Oh, you want to throw the baby away, but not the bagels?
Nah, I was pregnant. I just thought bagels made me sick. Turns out it wasn't bagels that made me sick. It was me being pregnant. But anyway, go ahead. Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all. You are back again. This is the third show today. If you're watching us live, if you are watching the replay, then you should be watching us live every third Saturday of the month. Live right here. We started with Inyatu and then Khalid, and we, the headliner. Last but not least.
Yeah, right.
We go with Gina, Lamar, Ross. So thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with Xavier Fox. And we are about to have a great conversation because she said we about to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
The whole truth.
But I do that the majority of the time.
What about that day you told?
But we gonna make sure that we don't mix up no truths, right? Anyway, so what we on today, Gina?
So, I have to keep it raw.
Yes,
right?
You got to keep it raw.
Because raw is what keeps me in business.
There's a lot of
It's just not a good thing.
Raw is a good thing.
I'm still getting new cases.
But raw is a good thing.
Because everybody wants to do it raw.
Ooh, raw.
Put me out of business.
Yeah.
Get some real ass wisdom with that.
Oh, real ass wisdom. Now that's raw.
Get some real ass wisdom and stop keeping me in business with STIs, STDs.
I ain't never done nothing.
No. Right. Of course, right? No, the best way to tell a story is to make sure that the person wasn't in the room with you, right? So I was like, I have never, and happened to be my best friend said, I said, ooh, you forgot about that, right? So no, really and truly, as I said, let's talk about this political climate, right? And like people just get on TV and lie. You get on the internet and lie. You get on anything you want to. You walk into a room and just tell the lie, right? And people have lied for centuries, hundreds of years, right? How old do you think how old do you think you were when you understood the difference between the truth and a lie?
Maybe 6 or 7.
Okay. All right.
Because you can tell a lie and stay out of trouble.
At 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
How is it that a 2-year-old knows to look when he's reaching? Because he knows he's not supposed to be doing it. He or she knows that, right?
But do they tell a lie about it?
They don't tell a lie about it until they take it and hide it. And you say, do you have a cookie? There's a TikTok or whatever, and the baby is 2, and she takes him to the store and says, you give back that candy. You took that candy, you weren't supposed to take it. Then they get home, open his shirt up. I pretty much think it's a skit, but he's got candy all in there, right? Because we know the difference, and people know it when they're saying it. It's okay for you to lie if that works for you. That's not on me. I'm not the lie police. It's not okay for you to lie to me and put me at risk.
Yes.
That's what's not
That's
okay,
for sure.
Right?
To put me at risk part.
To put me at risk, not lie. And I mean it all the way across. Mm-hmm. I talk about sex, but I have to talk about all the ways in which we find cases. We had this conversation and people were like, oh, what are you talking about? So we find a lot of cases in the emergency department because lots of people don't go to the doctor regularly, right? So they don't go to the doctor, so they're not being seen, and sometimes women think it's what? Yeast, BV, they come up with their own things. Men are the only ones who go run to the doctor. I don't know why we call them stronger sex, because when they start burning.
Oh, when that thing is burning, I bet they
come flying in, right? They come flying
I see them little, skits for sure where they shoot fire out and stuff.
Absolutely.
That's
exactly what they said. It feels like that, right? So, we have all of those things that people are talking about, and they just keep on trying to, play it off and do whatever. But the reality is that's an infection, and we've got to figure it out. I think I told you, oh no, it was this month. This is just now October. So I couldn't have told you this last month. It hadn't happened yet.
Okay.
every first Tuesday. So, I'm known for Monday Night Mingle,
Absolutely.
where I do adult conversation, put it in a room, add a little condoms and lube and tequila, and have great conversations about relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had to start Tuesday Night Tingle. Tuesday Night Tingle is my mini clinic, a mini pop-up clinic that I hold, where we do vaccines for Mpox, right? I started in the middle of the monkeypox outbreak that happened 2 years ago, when Black men at much higher rates were dire than white men, although monkeypox was all over, and they were getting their vaccines in the bathhouses up north, right? So I insisted that the Chicago Department of Public Health put a clinic and send me a team. So I have a team that comes from Rush and or UIC to do vaccines. Then I have my wonderful team, Give It Up for Walgreens Specialty Clinic on 71st and Yates, not Jeffrey, Yates, that comes out and does vaccines for COVID and flu. But we also offer the STI testing and HIV and HCV testing. I had to start the clinic because we were just missing so many people on the South Side.
Wow.
And people don't go to the doctor like they should, so they go to the emergency room. We started doing it with trauma victims. We found out a lot of people are positive when they got shot. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little low battery over there, Trinity, but we're good, right? So for the most part, we still know that we got to keep the energy up, right? And so when we are doing that, wherever we are, we have to keep it going. And so we started this project, a research project I did about 12 years ago with Loyola in the emergency room, where we started screening people when you come into the emergency room for cold, flu, whatever the case may be, right? You're screened for HIV. And so we did that, but we found lots of new cases because people were in there. I'm in there because my ankle is swollen. I twisted my leg. Had no idea that I was HIV positive, right?
Man, can you even imagine that you go in for something completely unrelated and you walk out HIV positive? Well, I guess you walked in HIV positive, but
you got it.
That's
bigger
crazy.
than that. You come in with a gunshot wound. We get you all hemmed up and then tell you have HIV. I was not there, but I do know of a story that I truly believe. Gunshot wounds galore, nothing. Got told that person was HIV positive. Breakdown. Out of this world, right? Like, somebody tried to kill you, sir. Let's get to that, right? Let's get to who tried to kill you. But no, the HIV was what was the worst thing. Forget the fact that you no longer have half your left lung because it got blown off when you got shot. Yeah, so we do that now.
So
Go
confused
ahead.
with
Why?
I'm so confused that whole situation. They came in, shot up, lost half of a lung, and found out they ate. They were having a really bad day.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad day.
That was a bad day. Now, they didn't find out they were HIV positive for about 2-3 weeks because they were mending from the gunshot wounds, right? But that was what it, come on, that happens. I go in for a twisted ankle, and before they do an x-ray, they do a urine test, and I find out I'm what?
Pregnant.
You know how many women find out they're pregnant? There was some, girl, I was going because I kept having a headache. I wasn't nauseated. I wasn't having tenderness in my breast or anything, right?
It's like my daughter went in to get her 6-week checkup and found out she was pregnant.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, Irish twins, we call them.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens all the time because sex continues to happen, right? Sex happens when you can, when you're trying to get the baby to come down. Then as soon as you deliver the baby, then you get, you're ready to have it. As soon as the baby gets a little sleep, you get a little lippy. Yeah. So no, when I said let's talk about the truth, I really and truly just wanted to, I just got saddened by the way people can just lie. There was something that happened with one of the debates, and they said they didn't want to do it because they're so busy wanting to fact check everything. I said, did you just say you don't want me to fact check? Right? Like, don't you want to know the truth? So
that you
don't want to know.
Shouldn't you speak the truth, first of all? Let's speak the truth.
But let's be realistic. Who's really going to tell me they have gonorrhea?
I don't know. Probably nobody.
You know, yeah. Based on, for whatever reason, right? Based on them wanting to have sex with you, based on them not wanting you to know their business, based on them not really knowing it's gonorrhea,
so scary
because they haven't been tested.
That's so scary. It's so scary that you could ask someone, and you guys might even be at a point where you feel like you can trust that person and go raw.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you may be.
But not trust. Trust but verify.
Right.
If I ask you, did you, set up the webcam? You said yes, but I'm going to trust but verify. Is it on? If it's not on, then I'm going to, that's all I tell people. I'm not saying don't trust your partner, but you have to trust but verify. We just had the conversation about someone having so many children. Mm-hmm. About people having so many children, right? Because they can just go live with women and that's how they got
so
to be.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But you made a really good point.
What?
You said those men know how to, they're not messing with you unless they can get something from you.
Right.
Versus women.
I guess because we're supposed to be nurturers and take care of people, we really take that literally. I don't know what the problem is.
I don't know. And I'd like to think that this kitty is not going to come over here because the only person in the room who doesn't want the kitty over here is me. Anyway, so I'm trying to. But I think when you say we're nurturers, I don't know if that's just, I don't know if that's the best thing that's the best thing for us to be, right? Because we tend to turn our heads and shy away from things that we know aren't making sense. Mm-hmm. And we will justify the bullshit in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. We will find a way to justify it.
Because how somebody gets 26 kids, well, probably he's not telling everybody he got kids when he get with them. I'm not sure how that happens. But at some point, somebody know this dude got some kids.
Well, let me just say this. How many men, I don't have children. So the number of men I meet who say, what? You don't have children?
Right.
And you're like, no. Oh, so you must not have children either. Oh, no, I got 4. Oh, okay, then why are you excited that I don't have children? Clearly, you
want
like
to
children.
put that first one.
Clearly, you like children. I know. But when I do say, like, and I love this person, we're great friends, and X said, you just wouldn't even consider having a kid for me. I said, let's be clear. Trinity gave you a girl. Xavier gave you a boy. What can I give you? Hermaphrodite? You ain't stay with either one of them. Like, you didn't stay with either one of those women, and they're very different women, have great attributes, right? Clearly, you don't like staying with women once they have your child. Mm. Why would you say that? I said, because it's called a pattern, right? Mm-hmm. If you watch anything, if you watch anything, you see a pattern. Oh, you get with this person, you make a baby with them, you leave. Or you get with this person, you meet them on the internet, you get together and you kill them. What? I'm just saying this.
Good Lord.
That's what the FBI does. Patterns.
So extreme.
Yeah, right. The FBI does patterns when they're watching, right? Looking for serial killers. Am I lying? They're like, how many times do they? Oh, this is what they usually look for. So
how many times do they let them kill somebody before they recognize?
Well, no, I'm saying that's how they figure out. Hey, everywhere
you go, there's
this Xavier Fox does an event, somebody ends up. No, the best though when we're talking about Monday Night Mingle, and they go to the page Monday Night Mingle on Facebook. I don't know what you'll get to see now because Facebook has decided to start monitoring my page and pulling stuff from. Remember, I just showed you from 4 years ago. They were like, "You posted a picture." I was like, "What did I post?"
They did that to me too.
But 4 years ago, y'all kind of slow.
2015. I done had stuff pulled from a long 2011.
I'm like, what is that? Right? Like, why would you do that? But I do. I get it. I understand as they're trying to tighten up their standards and stuff, right? But
everybody done seen it now. I wonder why you're thinking about it no more.
Yeah. But with Monday Night Mingle, the patterns are people meet and they talk about relationships and you say the right things because you don't tell the truth. you say all the right things, like, oh no, I always cook for my man. Oh no, I keep an immaculate house. Oh no, I'm this, I'm that. And then y'all get together and find out half that stuff is not true.
Exactly.
Right? But at this point, you don't care because you are already with the person, right? And you're like, oh, we got together. A number of people I found out later on got together on.
Kelly did this on no other show. Shit is with you.
I mean, really? And they're gonna look at me. The number of people who got together, and then I said, hey, I haven't seen you for the last few meetings. Yeah, that doggone, Steve or whatever. You're like, oh, I didn't know you got with Steve. Like, oh, if you had kind of blinked twice and gave me a clue, I told you he was married with 26 kids.
Damn. Okay, yep. And you know what? If I come to a Monday night mingle, believe me, before I hook up with anybody, I'm gonna run them past you because I know what you do for a living.
Well,
I know you know everybody.
And what I can't ever do is share somebody's status, right?
But
so,
you can tell me
I
no.
wouldn't know it.
You can say no, exactly.
I would be like, I just don't think that's a good fit for you. He's tall, dark, rich. He's a better fit for me.
He's tall, dark, rich, and has
Right.
HIV. You
Oh,
can
no.
have him.
Yeah, that's the part. Well, that's the part where, yeah. But no, I will tell you, I try to caution people all the time. We just had this conversation this morning. I did the domestic violence walk for the Universal Family Connections for that agency. And one of the things that my nephew and I were walking, we're having a conversation about people having HIV. And I say, we're talking about drug usage. And I say, oh, shoot, if I diagnose you with HIV, just do what I tell you to do and you're good. You can die whatever your grandmother died from. You're good there. What we do have are these drugs, this fentanyl, these overdoses are happening so rampantly out of nowhere, right? You're like, I don't even think I knew you used. Oh, I just smoke, but it got laced.
Mm.
Oh, I just do this and it got laced, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the part where I think the bigger picture, that we're missing is, again, HIV, you take your meds. It's like anything. If you don't take your meds with your diabetes or your heart disease, you're going to have a heart attack. Your blood pressure is going to go up. You have a heart attack, you're going to die, right? It's with anything, but bigger than that doggone fentanyl, that's coming out real fast.
I've heard about fentanyl. And I know someone, I think somebody drugged them somehow because they're alive, but they're totally different and like disconnected from, almost just not alert, like they live in another world.
Yeah.
It's really, it's so different.
And I hope you're watching Gina Lamar Raw on the Xavier Fox show. I always want to be watching.
Let's talk about it with Xavier.
Let's
Fox.
talk about it with
We're
Xavier
talk about
Fox.
it with Xavier Fox.
And let me just tell you though, as I say this, and only people know who they are, when I say it. When you're getting high, and we all cool, we're getting high, it's great. But you don't know what else is going on with me. I could be on another psychotropic med. And then all of a sudden, we're passing the same joint. But for me, it makes me go jump straight through that glass window, break her window, tear her screen up, and cut myself up. And they're like, Gina can't smoke with us. She can't handle it. She all messed up, right? So that's the other part.
Oh, man.
You don't know what else I have going on before you tell me, okay, we all agree to smoke together, right?
That would be really weird.
I will not dare share the person's name, but I was at a wonderfully star-studded event. I will tell you, I was at the very nice event with Holly Robinson and Rodney Pete at their annual autism event. That's where I took my pictures with Tina Knowles and, Boris Kojo and everybody, right? We got to be, yes, he is, and super nice. And so is his wife, right? Like,
yeah, I know
yes, but no, really and truly, super nice. But one of the other people there, none of the people I just named, happened to end up sitting next to a friend and was like, oh, child, he's a gun. And my friend was like, oh, my girl got one. And she was like, but she's sitting on the other side. They were sitting on the runway thing. And she goes, oh, man, give me one. so she had to get it. But I don't know any other way to put it, and it's not that we're from Chicago, but I was like, you don't know us.
Right.
You're taking a gummy
Yes.
from a range, and I was like, we from Chicago. And somebody said, what does that have to do with it? I said, I know, but I'm like, we're not your peers at all.
Right.
Right? Like,
right.
We don't know you. You
and
don't
we're
know
from
us.
Chicago where there's a reputation.
Well, no, we do not have a reputation for giving out bad gummies. What you're not going to do from Milwaukee,
you know, Chicago, right?
is come down here.
I don't care what you say. Chicago
What
is
you
my
not
city
gonna
anyway.
do.
Chicago is my city anyway.
Absolutely.
So why you talking about it? But you said we were going to tell the truth.
Oh, we did say we were going to tell the truth. We did say that. Oh, I did say
so
it.
we know.
And,
we all know.
and like a guy said once before with Monday Night News, you can't handle the truth. I was like, yes, I can. Now, do you really think I would have got with him? I want to know who this guy is who has the 26 kids, who's been with 17 different women, had 26 kids. Is he fine as fuck? Like, what does he? Is he strong? Does he have the money? Turns out, no, he was homeless. Remember, he used to live with these women. But I'm just trying to.
There has to be something else. It has to be something that makes 17 women want
decide to make a baby.
Be pregnant. Like once you find out you're pregnant, you have some options initially.
Absolutely.
So you choose to stay pregnant, right, and give birth to a kid by this dude.
Well, someone said you can't handle the truth, and I said, women said the best argument broke out. I can handle the truth. You just not man enough to tell me the truth. I can handle the truth, he said, obviously you can't handle the truth. Like, I don't even want to have this conversation with you. Yeah, you don't have this conversation because you can't, you a punk. You don't want to say shit. See what I mean? I don't even know you. But I did say I would rather lie or just ghost you than to tell you that I don't like you because of X, Y, and Z. And the argument got so heated, and I was like pulling for my sister, like, baby, calm down. He's winning the argument in a room full of people because you're going all the way off because he said women can't handle the truth. Yeah, but that's because you're a punk. You can't tell me the truth. But then I'm thinking, if you told me you had 25 other children, do I want to be the 26?
So I want the truth so I can make a decision because you have a right to think of, do I want to be the 26? Now, if you decide to be the 26, then don't complain about being the 26 and whatever comes with that because that's what you chose. But tell me you got 16 other baby mamas and 25 other kids, and then let me decide.
Well, why don't you get to that decision on your own?
Like, how do I know that he got this stuff if he don't tell me?
How about you take 5 minutes to get to know him and watch a pattern before you make a baby with him?
Oh, I ain't gonna make a baby with him, no way, because I already had mine too. But anyway, I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
But how do you? Because there are some things, and you know this because we talked about this. Some stuff happens on the first night.
Absolutely, but it shouldn't be life forever. A baby is forever.
I bet you at least one of his babies was a one night stand.
At least one, probably far more than one.
Well, he had to live with him. So most of them he probably living with. So they was probably longer term, just with his presence there.
But you know what? I think in that scenario that we did hear, there was drug usage. There was he had been in the service. So there could have been trauma there.
Yeah.
There was drug usage. There was history of homelessness.
Yeah.
So there's so many other things that came with that.
So then them women, if they're in that same situation, maybe affording an abortion or something may have been the
obstacle. I don't know. That's why I always tell people. My sister she came by my house the other day and saw a Plan B packet outside the house and said, "Hey, look what I found outside." And we laughed because it just happened to be outside my house, right? And I said, "Oh, good." So then we ended up in this stupid argument because I said, "Child, my friends would call me and ask for a Plan B pill," right? When I'm like, "Girl, you cannot wear Gucci and Louis and then ask me for a Plan B." But, well, Gina, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give it to them. I said, that's for a 17-year-old who does not have access, right? That's for somebody else. It is not for my girlfriend. We catching flights together, and then you want to you got a Plan B pill in there. No, you go get it yourself or the grown man you had sex with. I'm talking about when I have two youth or two young people who don't know the difference or something. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, that's funny. Here's a Plan B pill outside your house." I said, "Okay, thanks." Right? It was not. It was just garbage. It was not.
I was wondering. I thought.
Girl, I don't need no Plan B.
I was thinking Gina has.
I'm hoping. First of all, I'm
Secrets
hoping to
stories.
get me some.
She has some
Then
stories.
I'm hoping with this hysterectomy from 10 years ago to get me a baby so we can all get $2. That's another thing I always, that's what I always, can I please get a napkin? I'm having a private summer. I always complain when people say, "Hey, why did you all have that baby?" And they say, "Well, I didn't know she could get pregnant. The doctor said she couldn't get pregnant." I thought to myself, and you all didn't sue that doctor?
I know, that's right.
And they said, "Well, no, we thought, oh, it's a miracle." But if a doctor comes in and accidentally amputates the wrong toe, right?
Yeah.
Then you want to sue.
Right.
If the doctor accidentally leaves a gauze in, you want to sue. Malpractice is malpractice. If you tell me I can't get pregnant,
right,
and I end up with a whole human being,
right,
that I did not intend to have, that's malpractice.
That's what I.
That's a bad diagnosis.
I got my tubes tied too when I was 29ish. I think it was. I didn't get my tubes tied.
I wanted to. I love it. I kept asking all black female docs. I always work with black docs, and I was like, "Would you please?" "No, Gina, you could change your." I said, "Girl, I'm 35. I'm 36. I do not want children. I'm certain. You're 41. Gina, you don't know. You can meet somebody and want to have." I said, "Girl, I'm telling you." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go find me one of them poor medical grads. Tie my tubes."
So they told me, because when I went back to me, they make sure that everything is healed right or whatever. And I said, so I'm not going to get pregnant no matter what I do. And he said, well, maybe if you hang upside down and have sex from the ceiling, you might get pregnant. So I never did that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I never did that.
That's really, although tubes have come untied, so that's what they're like. We take them, clip them, and burn them, and cut them. You know, they do all of that because they're like, yeah. Because tying them, they've come untied. Mm-hmm. He knocked them up. He knocked them loose. Girl,
mine are also clipped. They're tied and clipped.
Yeah, the tied.
Double. You make sure.
So when we're talking about the truth, though, what truth can you really handle?
I can handle all the truth.
You really can.
Girl, yes.
What part would you not be willing to accept as the truth, right?
I don't know.
If I said, you know, I don't know. I can't now. All of a sudden, I can't even think of what. Like people think what the truth is, that it's a hard, fast truth. Some stuff is just how you feel, right? If I say you're not a good lover.
Well, if somebody told me that, that's just their opinion. Because I've had other opinions.
See how that works? You see how already we take that truth and make it our own, right? That's
I'm
just not
saying,
true.
that's your opinion.
Yeah. But then if you think about it and you go, well, I do always have sex the same way because I don't want to do it upside down, hanging from the ceiling. I'm not doing that, right? So therefore, I couldn't. But I really and truly, when I was thinking about this, and somebody was like, well, you know, people just need to tell the truth. And I said, hey, in the state of Illinois, I have HIV and I tell you a doggone thing. That's not my business. I don't have to tell you about my HIV status. You have to know about your status. And so they said, but you could pass HIV. The law says you are responsible for your own sexual health. Because you kept putting it on everybody else. Woe is me, he put this baby in me. Woe is me. And I said, when people say, oh, I got pregnant, I'm like, girl, I know the mugs you done mess with. You ain't had none of those babies. And not that you got pregnant and aborted or anything. Somehow or another, you just never got pregnant with those people. Mm-hmm. You mess around, come up on a one-night stand with a billionaire, all of a sudden,
you pregnant.
Right. And, you know, we always say that, the joke about that and stuff with that. But, yeah. So when we talk about the truths, and I said, could you have handled if your partner had told you that they were positive?
If this before we had sex, yeah. If it was before we had sex, wrong.
What if it was afterwards?
If it was after, it's going to be, I think I would revert back to the early 20 version of Xavier, and it would be a problem. There would probably be police called and stuff.
So what does that do? Does that clear the virus from you?
It don't clear the virus.
I just always want to make sure when people are like, oh, it's going, I'm going to kill somebody.
We're going to deal with the repercussions of that while that other person deals with the repercussions
of what you have done. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have to deal with it because now it's part of my journey, you know, but that's why
do you ever think that becoming positive was part of your journey, period?
I believe that we all here on the journey. I don't know. I don't believe it's part of my journey at this point. Mm-hmm. But I believe for those who have, it was part of their journey, whether it's for them to then turn around and help others go through the process, mm-hmm. or if it's to share some other lesson that they learn. But I believe all of this stuff is part of the journey. And I believe that it's part of population control. I believe it's part of a lot of different things, why we even have a lot of these different diseases here.
What I'm confused with population control.
Population control.
I can still have babies with HIV.
I know. But,
and my babies are born negative.
But are they? Isn't that amazing?
Could you go back and watch some of the Gina Lamar Raw shows? Because every time we say that, you sure? Regularly.
Okay,
I don't have to tell you my status. When you go into labor, we check to see if you're positive. If we don't have a negative test on file, we test you. If you're positive, we push meds to seroconvert the baby so that the baby is negative.
Wow.
So I still get to have a baby. Back in the day, you used to do this sperm cleansing and all of that. Nobody was going through all of that. We have a question from the audience.
Okay.
Yes. So what if they find out when they take the test when you're pregnant? Do they tell your spouse, or they're not obligated to tell them either?
They are not obligated to tell their spouse. We're in the middle of trying to tell the baby, and protect the baby and push meds to the baby. We tell you only a physician in the state of Illinois has a right to tell the partner if they feel that you aren't going to tell them. We do this thing called partner notification, where we show up at your door and say, hey, you've been exposed to an STD or an STI, and we'd like to test you. Would you come in? Now, only you know if you only been with your husband. Mm-hmm. Now, if you know you've been with your husband and the mailman, then you go ahead in and get tested and don't think anything of it and let that happen. But no one, the hospital, we don't tell the partner. That's an excellent question, but we don't. We have to know. Only a doctor says, "Hey, she's steadily having he's steadily having unprotected sex with her, and she keeps getting gonorrhea, right, or whatever the case may be. She needs to be notified." Only a physician in the state of Illinois can do that.
So now, what you're telling me is that regularly you find married couples and one or the other is messing around and taking diseases back to the other one.
You're saying married couples. So once again, I always remind people when I'm doing testing at the Black Women's Expo, and I say, step right up, anything, World AIDS Day, National Testing Day, step right up, update your status is what I say. Because if I tell you to take an HIV test, you say, not me, I don't need no HIV test. But if I say update your status, you say, well, maybe I should. I guess I do. Yeah. Well, there was that one guy, right? But I guess I could update my status. And so we just say update your status. That's the best way to do it. But with you know, when you're asking whether or not I have to tell somebody, you should just know your status once a year, right? Because we do have some times that we could have missed it. I feel like I lost your question though.
But I want to know if it is a regular.
When you say with husbands, because I say update your status.
Husbands or wives,
and they say
back to their spouse.
But they say, oh honey, I'm married, and I say, so is Cookie Johnson. Guess his husband came home with HIV, right? So Cookie Johnson, Magic Johnson's wife, right? But yes, lots of partners who are in committed relationships come home with STIs. Yes, they do. I told you about the guy who asked me when he got medicated and we had just given him his shot, can he shoot it
into his wife?
Into his partner.
So
it wasn't his wife, but she was clearly his housing.
Being at a different stage in life that I just spoke with, we just talked about that on the last show with Khalid, who is still in the house.
Khalid in the building.
So this is what I'm talking about when we talk about knowing what we want and stuff, because sometimes when you listen to all of this information, I talk to you, I talk to Khalid, I talk to Ibiatu, I talk to a lot of people, you know, I do girl talk in Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
Right. And sometimes I lose the vision for the upside of relationships, because companionship I can get. I can get some companionship. I can get somebody to hang out for me for a day, a week, a month, however long I can tolerate, whatever. You know, sex, of course, is the easiest thing you can get, right?
Not for me so much, but
Well,
maybe for other women.
I
try to get.
It's always Chris Rock had that joke where he said, you know, women are offered dick every day. Like they walk down the street and men are like, "Want some dick?"
Right? Would you like some of this?
Dick? You know, it's everywhere. You can. That's the easiest thing for you to get. But then, you know, when you talk to people about relationships, people are in relationships, you know, and everybody or situationships, and people start talking about just the real stuff, like what you're talking about. I can't see, so it's so much infidelity going on, and it's based on what you agree to.
I was just going to say, is it infidelity?
It's what you agree to. So, you know, I don't believe that people are naturally monogamous. I've said that so many times. So polygamy is a real thing, and I think we're naturally polygamous. I think I'm naturally polygamous. I enjoy meeting different people and different personalities, learning stuff from, you know, their life experience, conversations, etc.
It's not what polygamy is, but go ahead. That's just being called friendly.
Well,
gotta be having sex with those people.
Well,
so that's what you say with.
Well,
like we have to make sure with it, right? Because see, if you play with those words versus the truth,
I'm saying
you skate around all of that.
I'm saying that it would be easy for me to fall into an intimate relationship with someone,
with more than one person,
right? That I'm vibing with on that level,
easily.
All right. So
I have to make that decision for myself, right?
Right, you have to make that decision for yourself.
Like, but I know he's got an ex. He really likes her. He's got me. He really likes me. What's the Diana Ross song? She can give you loving, but I can give you money, or whatever the case may be, or something. One of the Diana Ross songs. You see. Set me free, why don't you, babe?
Oh, I remember that song.
Yeah, but it's something about, like, you know, why get out of my life, right? Because, you know, you're going back and forth with us, right? And so some women I do know have decided, I am not about to sit by myself because he is seeing more than one person.
And it ain't even about whatever he is necessarily doing. But my thing is, why are we getting in these relationships and then there's not an agreement? If you call yourself in a relationship, otherwise we should always be acting as if these are single. I'm not gonna go raw with anybody. I have to really actually be in a relationship for real and for a while. Dang, that time went fast. And for a while. But I just as a whole, sometimes I start to think about, what are the benefits of a relationship now?
Yeah.
It's funny, y'all both.
I started thinking.
The heavy
I'm
side.
just laughing because I do. I do. There were benefits when they say it's cheaper to keep her, right? I can do bad all by myself, or I can do very well all by myself.
You can do well by yourself. You can have peace by yourself.
You know, you always say that I can do bad by myself. That's the negative connotation. I can do very well by myself.
Yes.
Then you say that there's, you know, when you say it's cheaper to keep her, or we're staying together for the kids. How many kids grow up and say, God, why didn't y'all get the divorce?
Weren't we just talking about the people, their kids grow up and leave, now they realize they don't even like each other.
They never even liked each other, but the kids are like, y'all stopped liking each other 20 years ago. And y'all just kept it together with this BS, and we take this family picture that we all sit here like this, knowing you all cussed each other out right before we took the picture.
You miserable, and you think don't nobody know.
Yeah. But some people don't want to be alone, right? Some people just like, I don't want to be alone.
Do they realize they won't really be alone? I mean, once you get yourself back together, and you're not that miserable person that nobody really wants to be around anyway, and you accept who you are and where you are in life, you go out there and start doing things that you like to do, and you are bound. If you bowl, you bound to meet somebody at the bowling alley. Y'all might have some stuff in common.
I thought you said if you're bold. I was like, so what? You walk up and be like, "You, buddy, come here." No, you said if you bowl. I got it. Yeah.
You go out there and you start mingling in life.
Yes, absolutely.
There's people that's going to be.
I guess I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
And I'm not saying that not everybody is going to have a relationship.
I got it. Yeah, absolutely.
And not everybody wants a relationship.
My mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law said to me when I was leaving her child, whom I love, great guy, bam, best ex-husband in the world. What up, Evans? But said to me, can I say it? Bitch, I hope you like yourself because you're going to be by yourself. So every time I'm alone, I go, good thing I like myself.
Exactly.
Because she's right.
I'm glad you
How
like yourself.
dare you not want my son? He's the best thing in the world. He's an only child. Best thing in the world,
She
right?
said that.
Absolutely. No, she didn't say that part, but she's, in her head, that's the whole, I hope you like yourself, right? And then the B came. That was very
Oh, she said that to you.
for real. Yeah, she said it to me. And so every time I'm by myself, I think about what she said, and I say, all right, good thing I like myself, B. But what I do know for sure is that my ex-husband did not deserve my inability to be faithful.
Oh yeah, I remember.
He is a good person. He was, he was in law school up in Michigan, and I was here in Chicago, and I was just like, as I'm trying to bullshit before I start telling the truth about things, right? You left me, and he said, I left you and went to law school to make a better life for us. It ain't like I left you and went to trick off with somebody in South Beach, right?
But you left and went to trick off.
Okay. Can I tell my truth? Telling my damn truth. My truth. Absolutely. And initially I was going back and forth, and I was like, he is a good person. It is what I wanted. I do love him, right? But I also was like, I come from a very sheltered life. And so I wasn't allowed to stay out all night. I mean, like literally right before Evans and I got married, 2 weeks before our wedding, horse and carriage down Stony Island, right? Like big wedding, smoke and all this other stuff, right? Big Catholic church wedding overlooking Lake Michigan, reception overlooking Lake Michigan. And it was 2 weeks before the wedding. It was my birthday. And I didn't feel like going home. I was at his house. I was like, I don't feel like going home. I said, I'm not getting up. He said, girl, come on. We're in the home stretch. We about to get home. And I said, no. He lived all the way on the west side. I was like, it's cold. I don't feel like, we're getting married in 2 weeks. He said, keep playing. You're not going to be able to come to the wedding. You know how your parents are. He said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you home, drop you off, and let Mr. Lee know, Sidney Lee know, I dropped you off. If you get in your car and come back out, that's on you. He said, but you gonna mess around because my parents just didn't allow that, right? And I was 27. 27, but I still lived in my parents' home and I don't pay bills, right? Okay. So my parents paid for everything for us, my sisters and I and stuff, and they were like, we're good, but what you can't do, we gonna be the only ones up in here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So he said that 2 weeks before the wedding. And so I knew all of these
but
great
mean
things
you couldn't
about
do it at his house, right?
Oh, I did. But I wasn't allowed to stay out all night.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to stay out all night, right? I had a curfew, right?
At 27.
27. So my sister had one, and she had a 5-year-old son. And so at 23, when she got her last whooping, is when she went and got an apartment because she came walking.
She got a whooping at 23? Listen, I moved out at 18, so I don't understand that.
You see what I mean?
Oh,
See what I mean? Because Mary Louise, no, the
the
best part is like years later, they live in Ohio, right? And they were in town, she and her first husband, and Bob came in the room and go, Dad, Bob is in here trying to come in this sleep with me and my parents, and they'd been married and stuff, right? He was like, it's okay now. Right, like back then it wasn't okay. It's okay now that's your husband. So my parents had these rules that people think are super strict. I've had friends who are like, girl, you got a curfew, this, you that. When I tell you I ain't missed a beat, I did everything my friends did. I just did it with a curfew. I did it where there was nobody bumping into my father walking into the bathroom in his house. It just wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
Two men bumping into each other. Two women walking through the house with that. There's nothing wrong if that is your household, if that's how you all do things.
Yeah, I would never.
Mary and Sidney didn't play that, right? And so I had to honor that. So Evan's like, no, you're not doing that. And when I think about all those things, I was like, he's a really good guy. He knows this, but I also had to be honest and say, you're not Gary Do right. Like I said, I come from a strict household, right? When I went to the University of Iowa, it was the first time I was like away. Anybody here tell me to go to the room at 9 o'clock? All I had to do was answer the phone once my mother called. After that, I was out the rest of the evening. So when I did get the freedom of a marriage and he was gone to law school, I was home by myself. I was like,
Lord.
I'm kicking it. Yeah. So that's just,
Well, what a way to wrap up the last show.
I know, because nobody wraps it up. But I wrapped it up when I cheated.
The last show of this year. Now, like I said on the other ones, this is not the last new show, or not the last show. We will still be airing. We just won't be airing live. And so because she's
I'm supposed to be
drank
doing
all
my
that drink.
I'm supposed to
We
be
were
doing my
supposed to
drink.
be doing the toast, but
We are.
to
We do
tell
have
the
to do our
truth,
toast.
she got
Somebody kept on. Yeah. Don't put a lot in there.
because she'll have to drink it all.
But put me a little cranberry. Now I can't do straight champagne. Then that's a different show. I start table dancing.
Oh,
And I don't think this table can hold me.
anybody want to see her do a table dance?
Look,
Let's get some thumbs up coming
right.
on.
And I don't think the table
On
will hold
IG. If
me.
you on IG, you want to see her do a table dance, send us
So
some
wait,
thumbs up.
are you saying this is our live Gina Lamar Raw on Let's Talk About It with Xavier Fox?
For 2024. It's our last live. It's not our last show.
Because you're going to be showing our shows.
Because I'll be
in
showing our
November and
shows,
December.
right. So yes, you will still see our shows. We come back live in February. So here's to a great
we're taking a whole quarter off.
Well,
Cheers.
November, December, January.
Yeah, that's how quarter.
Uh-huh. So yes, make sure that you tune in to all the shows. So if you're watching this one live, this is our last live. But next Saturday, you'll still be able to see the shows. Wednesday, we have a new show. Every Wednesday, we get a new show from Spotify. Well, every Wednesday, we get a new show from all the different platforms, I believe. Ain't that what happens on the Facebook Media Trinity? Yes, every Wednesday, you can tune into
I'm
Facebook.
still your producer.
Xavier
Super producer
Fox
Trinity.
Media and Events page. You can find a new show every Wednesday. We have tons of new shows that you probably haven't heard. Because if you remember, I used to do a radio show. So I have filmed a lot of shows that only aired once on the radio station. So we got like 6 months of shows from the radio station.
Nice. From when we were doing the radio shows.
Yes, y'all been doing the
Remember when I was
shows.
getting dressed to go on the radio?
Yep, she got up the first show. She had her face all made up. I said, Gina, you know this is radio, right? They can't see us.
And my show was at 7 a.m. So at 6:45, I was fully made up. Girls pushed up everything.
Everything. She was on there. I was
She
like,
took that
"Ooh,
picture. That's the
You
picture
got a
you used for the
date?
show.
What you doing?
Where
'Cause
are you?
This radio.
I was like, oh.
Make your voice sound jolly. That's all they got. That's all they gonna get. But anyway, we will see you on. Make sure you watch all the shows, and we'll
Yes.
see you again in February for the lives. But make sure you keep watching the shows. So thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with Xavier Fox. Make sure you visit the website, XavierFox.com. It'll take you to everything else that you need to know. So I don't sit here and ramble on and on. So